Welcome from the beautiful Styrian Mountains for another chapter in the story of the Austrian Grand Prix. The Speilberg circuit then is situated 700 meters above sea level, with just 10 corners making up one of the shortest laps of the season. One time around here is a distance of around 2.6 miles, with the best overtaking chances into turn 1 or the tight uphill of turn 3. It's time to see how our drivers are stacking up after yesterday's exciting qualifying session. Kamui Kobayashi lines up on pole position, and Max Verstappen lines up alongside. Looking at the rest of today's grid, we have Norris, Leclerc, Russell, Oscar Piastri, Hamilton, Sainz, Perez, Fernando Alonso, Gasly, Stroll, Ocon, Hülkenberg, Albon, Tsunoda, Ricciardo, Magnussen, Bottas, Joe, Sargent, and the captain. Which of these talented drivers will come out on top today?
Welcome to Driving Immersion for the immersive racing experience. We drive full-length races in full simulation, the way F124 is meant to be played, from the driver's cockpit with a Fanatec force feedback wheel and pedal set. If you enjoy the racing here at Driving Immersion, give us a like and subscribe, and let us know how you enjoyed the race. It will help us reach other race fans like you. In addition, you'll be notified when the next race is available. Our content is on Facebook in HD and on YouTube in Ultra HD. We are continuing on with our second race of the weekend. This one, the full number of laps at the Austrian Grand Prix at the A1 ring. A full 10 turns on a short lap around will provide for a lot of fast racing action. With 3 DRS zones, there should be a lot of passing. No weather to influence the race today, so it will be man and machine in the show. But with major engine component failure during the sprint race, the Driving Immersion team had to build a powertrain from scratch. Last in qualifying means last on the grid, and that's where Mars Medina will start the race. Watch it all unfold as we are met with a mountainous challenge right now on the Driving Immersion channel.
We're at the back, but give it 100% and we can still come away with a decent result. I believe in you. Come on.
Yes, this time around we are starting at the very back of the grid in P22. But we believe we still have a fast car. Our teammate Kamui Kobayashi actually qualified first, so we are hopeful for a good race. Here is our strategy, and we're going to go with the default strategy, and it's a one-stop, stopping at lap 33, starting with a set of the yellow medium tires. And you can see here in the graph that we will be finishing off with the hard white tires, still in very good shape. Here is our wing settings. Here are our settings for the race, and it's based off of the faster top speed setting with a couple of changes in the tire pressures and nothing more. And we're going to stick with the 76.2 laps of fuel, and that is because we are starting from the back and we will be racing throughout the whole race, trying to get around other cars and using up energy and fuel as we do so. So here we are, ready to get going for the race and waiting for the formation lap to start. Having a look around, you can see it's overcast, but definitely no rain falling and nothing falling on the lens. So we are ready for the formation lap to start. Again, 10 turns on this just over 2.5 mile circuit. 3 DRS zones. Here we go down the main straight. You can see the pits are to the right.
Okay, how was that pull away? You'll have a bit more grip than that on the start, but we need to warm the tyres properly now. Make sure you get some heat into the brakes as well.
So after hard braking for turn 1, which is a sweeping right-hander, we're going to head down into our first DRS zone, and this is turn 2 here, a very wide left-hander. Turn 3, very slow right-hander. Again, a lot of hard braking, and then we're going to accelerate up the hill, fighting for traction, into our second DRS zone. As we descend into turn 4, Very slow, very sharp right-hander again. Riding the curb on the left. Turn 5 here, very slight to the right. Still continuing on downhill, turn 6 to the left. Turn 7, another sweeping left-hander. And then immediately flick to the right, which is turn 8. And we're going to be taking a lot of curb on turn 8 and the apron as we exit out. Turn 9 again downhill. There's a very wide apron to the left, and you will see why later. Turn 10 to the right, and that will open up the course to the pit straight and the start-finish line. Here we are forming the grid into our grid spot. And again, we are last to go. So after 5 lights out, it's a race start. There we are, and you can see here our teammate Kamui Kobayashi in P1 for the race. So here we are coming into turn 1. Very cautious as the cars are going 3 wide. Coming in through turn 2, which is a very slight left-hander. And up the hill into turn 3, you can see here that we are going to be passing 5 cars at once. Just sneaking on the inside of turn 3, and that is the uphill, and we accelerate very hard, trying to maintain our traction over the crest and down the hill again into turn 4. Very slow here in the 3rd gear. Slight bump with one of the Williams. Turn 6, a sweeping left-hander. Turn 7. Also very wide, as well as turn 8, and we are going to take the apron on the right and the left. Downhill into 9 again. Turn 10 is going to open up to the start-finish line here.
Enabled this lap. We can use DRS when you're within 1 second of the car ahead and in the DRS zone.
So we got to see there that Kamui, being in pole, got the fastest lap of the race so far in lap 1. Just out breaking Valtteri Bottas there in the Sauber. Activating the DRS. Here are the standings after just 1 lap, and you can see here that we moved from 22nd all the way up to 15th with Nico Hulkenberg again in the Haas just ahead of us. So we do expect a lot of passing here as we are going to make our way to the front, obviously. And we will take advantage of all the DRS zones. Here we are coming around Nico. Turn 1 to the right. Take advantage of the apron on the left as we exit out. Now we have our DRS available as well as the Alpines here, and we're going to get underneath both of them into the braking zone at turn 3. So very easy passing so far, and we are up to P12.
The 2 cars are going for it.
And just ahead is Fernando Alonso in the Aston Martin, and I believe that is Oscar Piastri in the McLaren just ahead of him, so a very lackluster race for him so far, but it's only the start. There we are, Kamui, another fast lap right after Max Verstappen takes it.
Alonso.
And Alonso giving us a challenge there, trying to squeeze us out. But we get underneath both cars coming into turn 1. Again, the DRS zone is going to provide you with a lot of speed if you can use the ERS at the same time. And these zones are actually long enough that you can build up that speed. So again, going to be a lot of passing here in this race.
I think I have a little bit more wing that I need.
Big lock up there.
At Perez.
And that was from Lance Stroll and Lando Norris. A little further back in the pack this time around. Lap 4 in P10 for the Driving Immersion, number 66.
Okay, you're in the top 10.
So very early on into the race, we are in top 10 already. Here we are activating the DRS zone on Lando Norris. He is slightly to our right and behind, and we are pinched off by Lance Stroll and the Aston Martin. There is a piece of orange wing end, and that is going to be from Lando Norris's car. There we are. Get underneath on turn 4. And having a look at his front wing here, he's able to come back around as we are wide on the exit. You can see that his wing end is missing.
He might make a mistake.
Too wide there. I'm the one that made the mistake.
So it's still going very fast considering his wing is damaged. Again, it's still early on in the race. He continues on.
You should have a busted wing.
Down the main straight with DRS and ERS. Just enough to get underneath before we get into turn 1.
Yep.
And we pass Lando. Very hard braking into turn 3. Up the hill of turn 3. This time around, we don't have DRS available to us. Lance Stroll and the Aston Martin just ahead of us. Not close enough just yet. So here, turn to turn, we are going to be building our speed and shrinking our distance from Lance Stroll. Very high in the curbs here in turn 6.
Curve there.
And in the practice sessions, I think the curbs on turn 7, which are on the left, are the only ones that threw us out when we were riding too high. So turn 6 is just fine. And you can see there that the curb on the right and the apron of turn 10 is also very flat and forgiving. And we're going to be using that throughout the race. Turn 1 on the apron.
Got very good traction out of number 3.
So the exits here at the very slow turns, like number 1 and number 3, they're actually straight on, even though number 1 is downhill and number 3 is uphill. Because they are straight out exits, a lock differential or more lock differential is actually beneficial, and I believe ours is set to 40 or 45. However, you still have to be patient with the throttle. You can't just mash it when you exit the corner. Here we are. Lance Stroll, and we get around him finally.
Keep this up. Well done.
Lap 8, and we have the fastest lap. Coming into turn 3, Lance Stroll is not going to give up so easily. And he's able to beat us out of the corner as he has the wider circle or wider arc. and so he is able to maintain his speed a little faster than ours. But we drive right under on turn 4. So once again, we are ahead of Lance Stroll. From the TCAM of Lance Stroll in the Aston Martin as we come through turn 10. There are the pits to the right. Grandstands to the left, obviously. A very sweeping turn 1. And you take advantage of the curve as you exit on the left. Turn 2 here, again very wide to the left. Braking very hard, and in turn 3, very wide there for the number 66.
Not too deep there.
Diving down through turn 4. And we're going to bring that down to 3rd gear.
Very little regard for our tires right now.
Coming around once again to start lap 10. We are in P8 starting from P22. So a very fast race right now. Up and over the curb for the number 66. You saw that we got some air there. Again, very wide coming in through 3.
And gap to the car in front, 2.1 seconds.
So up ahead, Sergio Perez
Gotta get
at
up there.
2.1 seconds. And you can see here that we are making up a lot of time on Sergio Perez as he is getting closer and closer. And as we heard earlier on the radio, we are not taking care of these tires, trying to get to the front as it's what we need to do, having a fast car and a fast race. But more importantly, if you remember at the very beginning of the race, we are looking at the tire strategy. The hard white tires that we're going to put on as a second set can actually go a little bit longer than what we will have them on for. So right now we are using up this set of mediums as much as we can, because even if we have to come in early to get off of these mediums, we will still have a lot of tire left on the hard tires before the end of the race. And right away we are just under the wing of Sergio Perez in the Red Bull. We are in the DRS zone now, and we should have our wing open. You can see here now that we are just about ready to pass him. Coming into turn 1, side by side, and we do make the pass. So a very good run here for the number 66 Driving Immersion. the track as we circle. And you can see up ahead the incline that we have to get into turn 1 as it continues to go up, and all of a sudden we are dropping down as we cross the DRS zone, still continuing to drop as we coming around through turn 2 and then suddenly up to turn 3, which continues up as we brake very slow to get around the corner, over the crest into the DRS zone again, our second one. Still continuing to fall into turn 4. Very slow here as it falls away initially, but the camber of the turn does come back before you exit out. Number 6 falling away. However, you've got a very wide apron there to the right. Once again, and we are chasing down Carlos Sainz in the Ferrari, just a little over a second ahead, but certainly less than that now as we come in through turn 3. That is Lewis Hamilton in the Mercedes ahead of him. And for the second race in a row, he's got his front wing all intact.
DRS. Finally.
Coming in through turn 2, we are now in the DRS under the Ferrari. Turning through turn 3, they are side by side. And the Ferrari is ahead of Mercedes. So we did get the Mercedes through the DRS zone, and under the braking, we're able to squeeze right through and get past the Ferrari of Carlos Sainz. And looking at the standings, they must have stalled him just a little bit as we came through, as Lewis Hamilton also slipped through as we came in. So the 66 is doing very well right now, and right where we are is where we started to experience major engine problems yesterday in the sprint race. So right now we are looking out for any possible failures that we may have mechanically. Here at the A1 ring, we are actually in our second engine for the season, so it should be expiring pretty soon, I believe. Last we checked, it was around 67, maybe 70% used, so it will be due for a change pretty soon. The next race on the calendar is going to be Silverstone, again a very fast race, so it's very possible that we may be changing this engine out before then, at least for the race. Still use it for the practice sessions. But if you have been watching the series, this second engine placement actually gave us a very slow car to begin with, and it took at least 3 races for this engine to come up to speed before we could be challenging up front. So again, very cautious about changing the engine, but it's going to be necessary as we are getting near to its wear limits. And having a look at the HUD on the lower right of your screen, you can see there that the...
Okay, so all of our tyre pressure data is currently reading 0. Assuming they still look inflated to you, we're going to guess that it's just a bad sensor. Shouldn't be anything to worry about.
So looking at the HUD on the lower right of the screen, you can see that the engine icon was actually orange. Next it will be red, in which case it will require replacement, so it is pretty close to being expired. The part that actually expired throughout the sprint race was the MG UK, which we hadn't changed yet since the start of the season, so it was definitely overdue. However, there was still time left on that unit. It just happened to fail suddenly in the sprint race. So if you want to see a major engine failure, you can watch the sprint race here at the Austrian Grand Prix, and you can find that on the channel as well. On board with Mars Medina, that is George Russell in the Mercedes just ahead. We are trying to make time, trying to get back up to him. We are in P5 after 18 laps, and that is very good considering we started out P22. But we do expect a fast car since our teammate did qualify on pole.
Ahead, 10.7 seconds.
So there you just heard it, he is 10 seconds ahead as we are in P5. Looking back from George Russell, that is the number 66 of Mars Medina in the Driving Immersion. Coming up to turn 3 here, as we're going to try to squeeze in. You saw an end wing, or a wing end flying in the air, definitely blue and saying Driving Immersion. So that is for the number 66. Looking at the HUD there, we are looking for a damage warning, but you can see here that off track, you can see that the car is missing the left wing end, and that is definitely going to affect downforce and grip.
Take it easy on the car, we can't sustain this level of damage.
And behind the wheel, we had no idea that there was damage on the car.
Oh, the front.
But here, looking at the graph here on the lower right of your screen, you can see that the left side of the front wing is yellow and not green. It's only slightly yellow. So it can't be that bad, but obviously off the car or on track, you can see that the left side wing end is missing. However, the number 66 continues on. Car is still very drivable. There we got another look at the wing plate that's missing. And here we are, still very fast coming into turn 4. We get underneath the Mercedes of George Russell. Coming in through turn 6, he's still right behind us. Side by side now before we get to turn 7. And then because of his additional grip that we don't have because of a broken wing, he's able to get by, and it's just now that we are realizing how much damage has occurred to the car, as he is very easily swept by in turn 7. Now at this point the car is still very drivable, and you can see here that we are very fast on the exit of turn 10. We use our DRS on our ERS to get by through turn 1, but he is still there side by side, and we try to squeeze him out. Saw some parts flying there, but again, nothing indicated on the damage. Side by side into turn 3. But at this point, we're using everything that the car's got as far as grip and speed. Obviously, we are lacking in grip compared to the Mercedes just behind us. And he is undoubtedly able to stay with us. Coming in through another sweeping 6 and 7, you can see he's got more grip. And then he's able to get side by side.
Wasted a lot of tire on that guy.
Just a reminder, don't forget to like and share and subscribe. It really helps out our channel.
Full race update.
Good work, we're in P4. Leclerc ahead. They're on old mediums. Okay, Russell's behind you now. Less than a second separates you. They're on old mediums. Okay, so gap to the leader, 13.6 seconds. You've got 11 laps until your pit window opens. Okay, 50 laps to go. Okay, keep an eye on that gap ahead, please. 8.3 seconds.
So an update from the pit crew and no warning about the front wing being in the driver's cockpit. Definitely can't see if the end plate is missing. And riding here with George Russell in the Mercedes, you can see that he's definitely able to stay with us. And we are not driving away anytime soon. Our pit stop is scheduled for lap 33, and we are waiting to see what happens until then. If George Russell does get by and is able to basically run away, that means that we are going to have to come in and change the wing on this car, as it will be more evident then that it is undrivable and we're not going to be able to move forward in this race. There we are. There's our pit strategy. We have a window from lap 33 to lap 55. A little bit off into the grass coming out of turn 3. There's our combustion engine that we spoke of earlier. You can see the wear rate is 61%.
Wow.
And we are checking out the other components as well. Varying well into the season. We are looking for wear on all those parts.
So I'm going to go another 10 laps on these tires. It's going to be very deep.
So right now Mars Medina is realizing that this car does not have a lot of grip. Very wide on the apron there as we exit 9.
Verstappen has the lead.
Now because we are missing an end plate, that means that the car is actually scrubbing a lot more through the turns, as you see there. Coming into turn 1, we are way over the curb. So there's a lot of wear on the front tires. You can see 30% on the front left and 29% on the front right. So right now on lap 24 of 71, we have put a lot of wear on the front tires, and they are definitely not going to make it to lap 33. Very wide again on the apron. And you can surely bet that the track limit points are adding up again, as they did with the sprint race.
I'm going to come in on 28.
So there we are. We got the call to the pit crew. We are coming in on lap 28.
Lead down.
32% now and 30 on the fronts. So we're able to stay ahead of George Russell here, but we are putting a lot of wear on our tires simply because our front wing is definitely broken. We had to make the decision to come in not only early, but to have it replaced.
Looks like the ERS isn't functioning. The guys are working on a fix.
So an additional problem, ERS is not working. However, as we are circling here, we don't see any problem with the ERS turning on or off. Very difficult to tell exactly if it is giving us the speed that we need. And you can see here that George Russell in the Mercedes just walks around coming in through turn 2, and by the time we get to turn 3, he's way ahead. So our measurement now is to see if he's just going to speed away, and if we are able to stay with him. If not, we will have to come in, obviously, again before lap 33 and change our strategy. So there's about 10 car lengths now between the two.
Box lap.
Okay, we can take you this lap.
Coming in through the start-finish line in the pit straight, we are doing everything we can to stay with George Russell, but it's definitely not enough, and you can see here that he is just running away. We are going to have to come in early. And we are going to have to change our strategy to change this wing, as well as change the tires. Time around, as we come around turn 10, we are going to wait for the Driving Immersion team to come in. Number 66 in the pit lane. And having a look around, you can see nowhere else is coming in. Definitely out of queue. So we expect a wing change as well as a tire change. And from the cockpit, you can see there that the pit has the wing off, the wing on, tires are changed, drop the car, we are ready to go. And I believe that pit stop cost us about 7-something seconds. Not too bad, but considering a normal pit stop is half that time, that's about 3.5 seconds that we're going to have to make up. Exiting the pit lane, that is the McLaren of Lando Norris. And up ahead, a group of cars that we've passed already. And we're going to have to do it all over again. But they will have to pit if they are staying with the one stop. We do expect the rest of the field to come in at about lap 33 as we were planning. If they are on a different strategy, like a two-stop, they may be coming in anytime now, before then. Very wide on the apron. You can tell it's definitely turn 9. Again, the track limit points are calculated. They do add up, and you will get a penalty once you exceed the number of times that you are off track. And off track means that all 4 wheels are on the other side of the white line that circles the track, either on the left or right. Sometimes it's very forgiving as you have the white aprons on the outside of the track. Nevertheless, they will add up. 66 now coming in through turn 7. Turn 8, again very wide on the apron. We've made our first pit stop. That brought us back to P12. And in that pit stop, we had to replace a broken wing, which occurred when we collided with George Russell, and that was turn 1.
You're increasing the gap to the car behind by a few seconds per lap. Keep it up.
So right now, we just saw that we got the fastest lap so far of the race. More importantly, we got the fastest lap
Here's
with
the
this.
gap that we're trailing the car ahead by. 9.0 seconds.
So more importantly, we got the fastest lap of the race so far with a set of these hard tires. So we are faster with this set of hard tires than we were with the set of the medium tires, which do provide more grip. So right now, the car is working very well.
Manage your tyres.
Another fast lap for the number 66. Very wide on the apron. So we touch the curb on the outside, coming into turn 3 as you brake very hard. Coming in, touching the curb on the right, apex, and then coming out on the apron. Also a very good sizable apron there out of turn 4. At this point of the race, we have a clear track ahead of us. We're watching the timing on the steering wheel. If it's green, it is faster at that point than our fastest lap so far. If it's red, we are slower. And as long as we can keep within a second of this fastest lap, we should be able to make up time on a lot of the other cars. So right now is when you get your head down and you just drive as fast as you can, making up good laps coming around. Here we are with Charles Leclerc in the Ferrari. He comes in to change his tires for the first time, and that is lap 33. So he would have had the same strategy that we had when we started the race. On board with our teammate. In the lead of the race here at the A1 ring in Austria. 33 of 71 laps. In comes Max Verstappen in the Red Bull, also on lap 33. You can see here the team is putting on a set of red tires, or white tires. So that should complete his race strategy for the race. Another Ferrari, and Lewis Hamilton also in. So every car that you're see coming in through is on a one stop for the race.
Kamui in the pits now.
That's our teammate coming in through lap 35, I believe, which means that he is also on a one-stop. There he is with a set of yellow tires, and now they are putting on the white tires, so also a one-stop for our teammate. And that will probably be the dominant strategy here with the other teams. George Russell on a set of white tires. That is Sergio Perez in the Red Bull. And from the camera, those look like white tires as well. We may get another chance to see here for sure. Yes, those are white tires. Also on a one-stop. And he will come out in 11th place. Back to Mars Medina in the number 66. Ahead of George Russell and Oscar Piastri. If you remember correctly, it was Lando Norris that had the broken wing. So Oscar Piastri doing well here. In the front of the mid-pack for the race.
I guess that's about right.
Dropping in through turn 4. Very carefully, our goal here is still to make time. You can see there that we are a half a second faster than our fastest lap at this point on the track. Very wide into turn 1 from the T-cam of the number 66. This is another view of turn 3, again very slow to the right. DRS zone. Obviously no one ahead of us at this point, so we can't use it. And you can actually see the rear wing there on the rear view mirror on the left side. So 1.2 seconds slower right now at this part of the track.
Okay, gap to the car ahead, 3.5 seconds.
And that car would be Max Verstappen in the Red Bull.
There's a gap beginning to form. Let's make the most of it.
At this point in the season, he is our named rival, so we definitely want to beat him for the race. around again through 6 and 7. We are about a second within our fastest lap. Not a bad deal so far. You can see here that we are using up our ERS whenever we can. Again, very wide on the apron. We are just waiting for the track warning limits to come on. And we are doing all of this because that's Max Verstappen just ahead of us. We are trying to decrease his lead ahead of the 66. He's definitely within sight, which is going to make us go even faster at this point. And you can see him there as we approach turn 3. He's just exiting out. And visually, he's definitely within reach. From the T-cam of Max Verstappen, we're looking for the 66. There he is, coming around through turn 10, down the main straight. No DRS for the 66, but you see here that Max did have DRS for this Williams that he just passed. Can't tell exactly who that was at the moment. So very beneficial for Max. And then you got to see the Williams also able to use his DRS.
Gap to the car in front, 2.8 seconds.
Trying to get there.
Using our DRS to come around the Williams. Again, chasing down Max Verstappen just ahead. So you got to see the Cash App Red Bull also missing a wing end right there on the left-hand side. I believe that is Daniel Ricciardo. So also circling around with a broken wing.
Verstappen has the lead.
No, he doesn't. It's right in front of me.
Lap 42 now, and having a look at the HUD on the lower right of the screen, you can see there that we are putting some wear on these tires, and right now we are trying to calculate while we're driving if they're going to be durable enough to drive like this for the remainder of the race, to make our way up to the front. And coming in through turn 4, we're going to be able to dive right under Max Verstappen. We did have our DRS available to us as we came into 4. And we can see here right away that we're able to put some space in between us and get a buffer. So we are a little bit faster than Max. Again, very good news as he is our named rival at this point in the season. now as we round turn 5, that is Charles Leclerc and the Ferrari just ahead of us. We had just recently passed Max Verstappen, that you see there on the screen as well. Our rival for this part of the season. And they are coming in through turn 5. You get to see how close we are to the Ferrari. And that is a backmarker Sauber just ahead. As you saw, he just let both cars pass by. And he will let Max Verstappen pass by as well. Coming around again to start a new lap. I think we are satisfied with the difficulty level of the game right now, as we are facing a very good challenge here from the Ferrari. Not quite so easy to just walk around, but we do get underneath before we get into turn 10.
Well, stuck to our teammate.
So right now, after all the pit stops, having come in early,
Got us at a hard tire, so he may also be.
we are charged with chasing
On
down
one
our
top.
teammate, who is in the lead. Timing indicates that he is 13.3 seconds ahead. At this point in the race, we are able to, or we should be able to have enough time to catch up to him. However, there are still a few variables that you have to consider, and we'll see how the next few laps go. Over the shoulder of number 66, Mars Medina, very well executed turn 4, 5, and now turn 6. Here we are coming in through turn 9 as it drops away. Again, a very wide apron on the exits. Turn 10. Again, don't forget to like and subscribe. It helps us reach other race fans like you. Lap 47 now of 71. We are trying to chase down our teammate in P1, Kamui Kobayashi, in the other Driving Immersion. Enjoying a very good race so far. We are now in P2, starting from P22. On board with Charles Leclerc. We passed him a few laps ago, however, he's able to stay with us right now. we are gauging if we are able to catch up to our teammate based on his speed, as he is able to stay with us. If we were able to drop him very quickly, we would have a very good chance of getting up to Kamui. And right now, again, because he's staying with us, we are considering that we may not be able to catch up to Kamui before the end of the race, but it's still quite a few laps to go. That is a McLaren just up ahead, and that may be Lando Norris. If you remember, he had a broken end plate earlier in the race, and that may be why he's further back.
Okay, the incident's been cleared. Let's get back up to racing speed. Come on.
Very quick caution, don't know exactly what it was for. Having a look at the 66 coming into turn 3, and you can see here that Charles Leclerc and the Ferrari still very close behind. And again, that is an indication that we are just not going fast enough at this point, and we may not be able to catch our teammate, Kamui Kobayashi, in the lead. But I believe right now it's about 12 or 13 seconds that we would have to make up. .4 seconds ahead now. Coming in to cross the start-finish line. Lap 50 of 71. Still plenty of time to catch up to Kamui.
Start taking it easy on these tires.
Having a look again at the HUD on the lower right of the screen. The left front tire, which has been the tire with the most wear, is now up to 18%. And that 18% started at lap 28. So after 23 laps, we lost 18%. That would mean that if we continue on at this pace to get to lap 71, we are looking at a wear rate somewhere in the 40% range, which means that we are still at the very low range or very high range of durability on this set of tires. And we would be pushing it, but it definitely can be done. So right now, head down, and we're going to try to get to our teammate, trying to reduce the deficit right now, which is 12.6 seconds. Looking back, Charles Leclerc and the Ferrari is starting to fade back. He may be trying to conserve his tires as well. Up ahead, a group of 4 back marker cars that we're going to have to pass. And it will cost us time, energy, and tire wear to do so. Looking again at the lower right of the screen, that is the tire wear indicated. 19, 18, 14, and 12%. All still in pretty close range to each other, which means that the car is set up pretty well. This is a clockwise track as we circle around, and that means that the left tires are going to get the most amount of wear. So still in very good shape. Tires are still within range. But we really have to start making up time here on Kamui. Back marker slides away. They will have the blue flag available to them. There we are. There's the blue light blocks flashing. That means there's a car coming around the back marker. And that is one of the Cash App Red Bulls. So from turn 3 to turn 4, we get past 2 of the back markers. That looks like one of the Saubers. And that one that we just passed, as they try to go 3 wide into turn 6, is going to be one of the Haas. Now, undoubtedly, that little amount of time that we spent here with the back markers will have cost us time to our teammate. We did see a car just turning into turn 1 as we came through turn 10. Can't quite tell if that is Kamui. And as soon as your rival is up in front and within sight, you tend to drive faster to get up to him. But at this point, we still can't tell who it was. There's the start-finish line once again. There is a car that you see a small shape way ahead there, coming into turn 3 right now. That may be our teammate that we're trying to catch. So we've got the lead now down to 11.4 seconds. And I think within the last couple of laps, we made up about a second and a half, almost 2 seconds. Looking at the timing on the steering wheel, this lap is just a half a second slower than our fastest lap, so this is a good lap so far. And this is now lap 55 of 71. These hard tires should be coming to the end of their peak pretty soon. But for now, it's still doing very well.
Driver in front.
And that's Kamui ahead of you now. Okay, gap ahead, 11.6 seconds. Okay, they're on fresh hards. They've done 21 laps on those tyres. Time last lap, 1 minute, 09.5. All right, you're falling back by 1/10 a lap.
So right now we are just a little bit slower than Kamui in regards to catching up to him. And we just got a readback from the pit crew for a full race update. things that I found out is when they say fresh tires or worn tires or old tires, the fresh tires are usually the ones that they had put on since you last changed your tires in comparison, and then the old tires that they have are the ones that they changed before you came in on your last pit stop. So very good, helpful information. We did pass another back marker. That is one of the Williams. Just behind. And again, we're still looking here for a decrease in the time between the 66 and the Driving Immersion of Kamui Kobayashi. Right now in the lead of the race.
There's a gap of 12 seconds between you and the next car. Let's push now and see if we can bring that time down.
I'm afraid I won't have tires if I do that.
So still in very high consideration are the wear on these tires. Right now they are showing 23%.
The car behind is dropping back by about 3/10 a lap. Well done.
And that is for the front left. Still making a little bit of time here on Kamui, but only tenths of a second within the last several laps. Again, we are still trying to calculate if we're able to make up the time between, which is now 11.4 seconds. And our other choice would be to conserve the race right now. We are 6 seconds ahead of the following car, which is the Ferrari of Charles Leclerc. And we could concede to a second place on the podium as opposed to the top step or the first. But we will still make a lot of points here for this race, which is going to be a very good result because our car expired for the sprint race here in this weekend. This is turn 3 once again. The number 66 clear lap ahead. Lap 60 now of 71. We are still 11 seconds behind Kamui and has not improved marginally or meaningful enough within the last 10 laps. And at this point,
the distance is keeping steady between me and Kamui, so still going fast. Now we have to worry about the tires. Lap to go.
So at this point we may be conceding the win to Kamui.
I can see that he is slowing. I may go for it, but right now he is still going for it.
So lap 61 now of 71, just 10 more to go. If the race ends as it does, or as we stand here, we will be second on the podium, but it will be a 1-2 for the Driving Immersion team. And that will be the first time so far this season. Obviously a very good result. There we are looking at the standings now. You can see that he is 12.6 seconds, so he made up 1 second since the last time we checked. And looking back at Max Verstappen, he's dropped down now to 6.3. He is racing with Charles Leclerc. I think he got past him within the last 3 or 4 laps. So now with just 9 laps to go, it's very possible that Max Verstappen can put a charge together.
The car behind is lapping faster than us by around a second a lap.
There we are. We just got the notice from the pit crew. If it continues on like this, he will be up to the 66 within just a number of maybe 5 or 6 laps, and still have a good chance to pass us, getting a higher step on the podium. So right now we can't spend our energy on trying to save the tires. Max will be coming in real fast, so we have to maintain our position here and keep our speed. And we are going to be gauging that by the timing there on the steering wheel. Right now we are just a little over 1 second behind our fastest lap. If we can keep this pace like this, or even faster, that will reduce the chances that Max is going to be able to catch us and come around. Obviously, if he can make up 6 seconds in 5 laps or 6 laps, or even 1 second every lap, he will be able to pass us if he catches us. Looking very far back into the picture there down the main straight, there was a dark car with a light colored nose, and that would be a Red Bull. And coming up the top right of your screen, there are 2 cars. It's definitely the Red Bull of Max Verstappen. There's a red Ferrari of Charles Leclerc right behind him. So they are just very slightly in sight. There we are, coming into the picture as we come in through turn 4. And that does not leave us a position where we can try to conserve the tires. However, we are now at 26% wear for the front left. Our greatest determining number for wear is going to be the tire with the highest wear. So a little bit better that time around through the start-finish line. I believe we made up about 0.8 of a second on Max, who is behind us. However, we lost another couple of seconds to our teammate Kamui Kobayashi. He is definitely running away with this race, as he did from the start. If he finishes at this point at the pole, he will have started at pole and finished in P1. A very good achievement for our teammate. We have been spending on his development throughout the season so far, which is part of the my team of Formula 1 24.
26%, 6 laps to go. On the engine. That's pretty high.
So again, Mars Medina minding the wear on the engine. Somewhere in the 60% and higher range. So we will be parking this engine very soon. Our next race is going to be at Silverstone, a very high-speed track once again. A lot of sweeping turns, only a couple of slow turns. So it's very possible and maybe likely that we will be changing out the internal combustion engine after this race here in Austria.
Perez out.
From the helicopter, you can see 6, 7, and 8. And there's the Red Bull statue in the background as we come in through turn 10. Again, very wide on the apron.
So Kamui is still matching our lap. That's alright. I'm gonna go home with this one.
So lap 66 of 71. We are realizing that Kamui is still going very fast, and with
we
a
started in dead last, we are coming in second. Everything goes right.
13-second lead. He's not minding to slow down at all or conserve his car. His tires are newer than ours.
Looks like Verstappen is racing with Leclerc.
They will be a set of hard tires as we have on ours. However, we put ours on about 5 laps sooner than his. Earlier in the race, we had a very mild collision with George Russell, and we knocked off our wing end on the left-hand side, and we had to come in and change out very early into the stint. Riding with Charles Leclerc, that is Max Verstappen just ahead of him, who is just behind the number 66 Driving Immersion.
Clear track
You
ahead
can
of
see there that they were just approaching turn 1 as we came through here in turn 2. So 7.8 difference. Right now he is falling back a little bit by a couple of tenths. But one little mistake here in going off the track. A few apexes missed and so on, and he could be right back to the 66.
white car. Obviously, it's not going to be our teammate.
So again, there is a light-colored or white car very far off into the distance there, and we are thinking, is that Kamui? But right now, he's still 13.9 seconds ahead, so it can't be him. That must be a back marker. And lap 68 of 71. Obviously, we're not going to make it up to Kamui Kobayashi right now. And we realized that 5 laps or so ago, and we are driving now to maintain the car and keeping a distance from Max Verstappen, again our rival, just to be able to finish ahead of him here at the Grand Prix in Austria. There we are looking at the timing. Kamui is now 14 seconds ahead. And at the same time, Max is 8 seconds behind. So Max is falling behind, and so are we. And Kamui is just speeding away.
second place. You're in second place. Okay, they're on old hard tyres. And Verstappen's behind. Okay, they're on old hard tyres. Pit strategy complete. See these tyres through to the end now. 2 laps left. Next time by will be your final lap.
Coming around 9 and 10 to finish lap 70 and start lap 71. Too far from the flag stand to see if they're waving the white flag, but this is definitely the last lap.
Second place.
So now obviously no catching up to Kamui. We've got a very good padded distance from Max Verstappen, our rival. As we circle it once more to complete this race. A very good race for the
tires.
very good race for the number 66. After a major failure in the sprint race just the day before.
I think I could have pushed Kamui. We were already going as fast as we could, and he was matching our pace. Do you think we went for this single stop?
Here we are crossing the start-finish line.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for all your hard work out there. That was a really strong drive and a great finish. Well done.
Coming in from last, and we have driver of the day as well, and fastest lap.
So a very good result for the number 66 of the Driving Immersion team. P22 to P2.
And it's always good, Crofty, to get that momentum on your side, and it's really good for your confidence as well. The more confident you are, the further that can take you.
A show-stopping performance from the 3 drivers approaching the podium right now. It's been an interesting Grand Prix, that's for sure.
Third.
There's our teammate Kamui Kobayashi that we've been developing throughout the season. And you saw 2 Driving Immersion drivers there on the podium. Number 1 and number 2 with Max Verstappen in third. A very good weekend for our teammate for sure. So if you made it this far, thanks for watching the race at the Austrian Grand Prix on Driving Immersion. Don't forget to give us a like and subscribe.
And with that, we wrap up another weekend of motorsport action. But with more races lined up, be sure to join us when we come back with more Formula One.
We'll see you next time.